Hi everybody, it's Captain Paul Peluso here. Lately we've been having a lot of herring around on the island, on the North Shore and the South Shore, and a lot of people asking me how we make that pickled herring. My wife's going to show us later how we do it. We do it with a vinegar type of herring, not that cream sauce that you buy in the store. It's very good. Put our little special ingredients in there, and today I got about another 10 herring this morning, and I'm going to show you how to clean them, descale them, cut them into pieces. We're going to make the salt brine, soak them in the salt brine, take them out, get the pickling juices all ready, and then put them in the jar. So here we go. Just got a couple herring in this bucket here. I kept them in salt water so when I come home they're nice and fresh and they're not hard. So when I cut them, it's easier to cut them. And I'm going to just dump the water. We've got a couple big ones, a couple small ones today. What I like to do is just run the cold water on them, keep them nice. See, they're still a little pliable. They were in there for a while. So what I like to do is I take the herring. You want to set it up? And I just take the knife and you go the reverse on the scales, the reverse way, like up, and the scales just come off. I use cold water so that the fish does not, start to cook itself inside. And you want to take off all these little tiny colored scales. This way you don't eat them in your pickling jar. And you do both sides. See this little silver right here? See the colors on it? Isn't that neat? You just make sure you get all of them off. Just like this. Real easy. It comes right off. Any knife will do. Doesn't have to be any special type of knife. And you just want to get them all off on each fish. Okay, so now I descaled all the fish. I took off all the little tiny scales, and now I'm going to fillet them. I'm just going to basically take my knife, which is over there. I'm going to make a cut right by the gills. And I'm just going to go right down the backbone of the fish. You want to follow the backbone all the way down to the tail. And I just do this and cut that piece off. Then I flip her over and do the same thing the other way. And there we go, 2 fillets, real nice. It's also good to have the garbage pail right nearby. Take the guts. Goodbye. Now, I'll show you what I like to do. I just like to clean them up just a little bit. This little part right here, just cut off the junk. Nobody wants to eat that. Just put it in the garbage. Look, I got a little piece of the fin up here. Oops. And let's just clean it up. Cut this little piece off over here. Now this part right here has a little bit of bones on it, but it's okay. The vinegar will dissolve them. So it'll have that little crunch to it, but it'll be fine. Now all you really want to do here is make like 1-inch pieces. Like I'll say like right there. That's 1. That's 2. Nice little bite-sized pieces. You can make them bigger, whatever you like. If you like bigger pieces, use bigger pieces. And then I just put them in the bowl. And I do all the fish, cut them all up, pop them all in there, and I'll rinse them off with cold water again in a strainer. And then I'll be ready to put the salt into the water and we'll let them soak for a while. So that's it. Gets a little messy. A good idea is to put some paper underneath your little cutting board here so that the blood doesn't go on the table and your wife gets mad at you and then you got to clean it all up. So I do that. I just fold it up when I'm done, throw it right in the garbage. No fuss, no muss. I don't have to deal with it. I don't get in trouble. Okay, now I just like to rinse off the herring before we put them into the salt brine. The more rinsing you can do on them, the better off you are. Here's the bowl. Here's my bowl of chopped herring, and I'm just going to put it in here and just rinse it off with cold water. You always want to use cold water. And just rinse them around, get off all the impurities, you know, everything that's on the fish, the extra blood. Just, you know, mix it up a little bit. Get it off, no big deal. Just rinse the fish. Make it so that it's going to be tasty. Fill it up with some water. I put a little salt in there. Put a lot of salt in there, I should say. Just regular salt, you know. Sea salt. Ha. You want to make it really salty. What this does is it takes the impurities out of the fish. It pulls it out and you let it sit overnight, like in the refrigerator. And I'll add a little more water in here. Mix it up. You want it to be like frosty. You know, like, see how it's like cloudy? And you just let it sit. Put the lid on it, put it in the refrigerator. Okay, here's my herring from the other day. Now these guys have been sitting in this salt brine for over 24 hours, which is good. And I do the same thing. I just put them in the colander and just rinse them off. Get all the salt out of them. You know, try to get as much as you can. Mix them up a little bit. See, they get a little stiffer, which makes it good when you eat it. You want a little crunch to it. You know, you want it to taste not soft and gushy, but not too hard, not firm. So I just keep rinsing it. Rinse it really good. And then what you're going to do is we're going to dry them off on a paper towel. And then my wife is going to make the vinegar and the pickling spices and add them together, cook them on the stove, and then we will put them in the jar once the pickling spices cool. You don't want to put it in hot, otherwise you'll just cook the fish and it'll be ruined. But we're just going to pat these down, dry them off, try to soak up as much water as you can out of them. You don't want the water to dilute the vinegar pickling spices. So you take a couple paper towels, put them on the paper towels and just pat them down, get them nice and dry so they absorb all the pickling juices and not the water that they were just rinsed in. And that's it. Just do it just like that. And then soon you're ready for the pickling.